Masturbation is not a bad thing, y'all. You can touch yourself when you are alone. As long as you're not thinking of any negative demonic entities, right? You can think of divine love. You can think of beautiful trees or vacation spots with crystal clear, beautiful blue water, or, being in the sky in a helicopter, or whatever brings you the most joy, right? Any manifestations that you want to put out into the universe. You can think about these things as you are massaging your God bone, as you are massaging your vagina, whatever the case may be. But you want to put those manifestations in the body so you can reprogram that sexual energy, because once you program your sexual energy for lust, right, to lust over these demonic women in pornography, once you program your mind to lust over women in general, that's going to spill over into every area of your life. Okay, you are going to now lust over things, right? Material things. You're going to buy things you don't need, right? You are going to do things that you shouldn't be doing, okay? Because you have so many lustful entities within you. So you have to detox from all of that. And the best way to get over pornography is to starve it out. And welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nicole Powell, your straight talk, no chaser guide to freedom, choosing to live in the presence of truth or nothing at all. And I am so excited to be back here with you guys today. This is my third video in this ministry series. So I am really hoping that I am getting the message across. And I am helping someone out there through my vulnerability, my testimony, and just allowing God to be a vessel and use me to get through to his other children, right? So I'm super excited. So today I want to talk about pornography and how it affects Christians mostly. Okay, and I want to start off by saying this is no personal attack against Christians. I think that the reason why I wanted to focus on Christians while talking about pornography is because I've watched so many Christians on YouTube just kind of really understanding the doctrine, getting to know the doctrine. And what I've found in watching so many Christians is that a lot of them have issues in their marriages or even in their singleness with pornography. And I just want to kind of shed some light on why I think that is and what you can do to go about helping yourself through that, because I know pornography is a really rough demon, y'all. I was addicted to pornography for I would say since I was about 9 or 10, I was addicted to pornography. So I think I told you guys a little bit in another video. I stumbled across pornography on Real Sex late at night, but that was very softcore porn, okay? Very just like nude, naked bodies, people kind of humping each other, rubbing up against each other. I never had really saw penetration, but something ignited inside of me where it really did kind of turn me on, although I had no idea how to communicate that at that age. Once I started watching The Real Sex, then I started to graduate. So me and my brother stumbled on my dad's tapes. Okay, this is back in the 90s, right? So, or really late 90s, early 2000s. We stumbled on his tapes. He had a big box of pornography tapes, and we used to take them. We used to take them. And so it got to the point where I would put it in a VCR in my room and I would watch it for hours. Hours. And you're probably thinking, well, where were your parents? So my mom and dad split. So we would be at my mom's house half the time, and then we would go to my dad's house. So when we were home with my mom, you know, I would tell her I was in my room doing homework. I could say, you know, I was taking a nap or listening to music or whatever, you know, like we had a routine, you know. She thought I was in my room just doing my thing, but I was actually watching porn. And so this was the hardcore porn. This was the ass to mouth, you know, ratchet, raunchy, all of the nasty things is what this was. And so it took me to another level. Not only did I want to play with myself and explore all of the intense sensations that my body had while watching this pornography, I wanted to also act it out in real life. So it became almost like a mission of mine to find a boy to have sex with. I really wanted to have sex because I had basically lost my virginity to myself, honestly. I had started to use objects like antibiotic ointment tubes. I would wrap them up in saran wrap and I would penetrate my vagina. Yes, I know this is all a lot, y'all, but it's real, okay? And so I would, you know, use glue sticks, antibiotic ointment tubes, anything that was shaped in like a phallic-like object, okay? And I would wrap it up and penetrate myself. And so I would do this all the time. It got to the point where I started to orgasm. So then I get this rush of, you know, intense feeling that I have no idea what to do with. So I lost my virginity to a boy at 12. And, you know, from there, obviously, as you guys heard in my testimony, you know, it just kind of sent me down a dark, deep road of destruction. Okay. I was just very much so tainted and had demonic lust, you know, energy inside of me. And, you know, I needed more raunchy, you know. It got to the point where, and I think it gets to this point for a lot of people, you know, you watching just vanilla porn. When you say vanilla, you're talking about a girl and a guy having missionary sex, okay? The normal type thing. Once that no longer gets you off, then you have to go to something different. Now you have to go to two girls, or then you go to two guys and a girl, or, you know, you got to have more, because you consistently are reaching a threshold that you have to surpass in order to find that sensation in the body again. So ultimately, my porn addiction led me down that path to destruction where I was, you know, doing very, very terrible, awful things that were beneath me to fulfill these promiscuous demons inside of me. And, you know, it was really rough. So I didn't stop porn until about a year and a half ago. My mentor, you know, talked to me about sexual alchemy and raising my sexual energy up the spine to have everlasting life. So once I started to do that, I was so full of God's love. It started to kill the demons, okay? And then pornography just effortlessly disgusted me. So here's the thing. Pornography is not real. It's not real. Okay, as much as we want it to be, it's not. What we do is we use it to fill voids. And so I feel like in a lot of Christian marriages, right, they were never taught what divine, beautiful sex is. Okay, so a lot of times, you know, the woman in the relationship, she becomes tired of just the mundane, you know, hit it and quit it type of sex that happens in a lot of marriages today, okay? Just because we waited on our partner, just because we have this God-ordained kingdom marriage doesn't mean that we know how to have beautiful sex. Okay, and the Bible doesn't teach how to have beautiful sex, right? And so I think we go into a lot of our relationships thinking that, oh, just because I have this beautiful husband that God ordained for me, the sex is going to be great. And that is just not the case, okay? If you've never had proper sex education, how is sex going to be good for you, right? Unless you guys are truly intentional and indebted to learning one another, learning each other's bodies. Because see, a woman, she doesn't get, you know, hot quickly like a man does, okay? A man can wake up and say, "Ooh, I'm feeling it." His thing goes up, he's feeling it. A woman, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes intentionality, okay? And I always reference a hot boiling pot on the stove, okay, of water. When you have a hot boiling pot of water, you have to wait, right? You gotta turn on the heat, and then you gotta let it simmer and let the heat kind of fill it on up, and then it starts to bubble, right? And then once it's hot, it takes a minute, for it to die down. But I think a lot of us are going into these relationships thinking these women are just supposed to be ready. When you want them to be ready, they're supposed to be on call, be on demand, wet vagina on demand, and that's just not how it works. I always say, which my mentor taught me, lust is fast, love is slow. And even though we have these kingdom marriages, they're built on lustful foundations, right? There was never any time taken to go slowly, and that is the point of why God always has said no sex before marriage. But even then, you must go slow, because yes, you've been getting to know each other all of this time. Yes, you've been, taking your time and learning each other's ways and all of the things, but now it's time to learn one another's bodies. So you can't just hop into it, right? Because you're lustful. You want to fulfill that root chakra sexual energy, right? You got to allow that sexual energy to permeate your entire being. So when it comes to a sexual encounter, lust is fast, love is slow. The slower, the better. You must take your time. You have to take your time with her body. She has to take her time with your body. The proper thing to do is start off with foreplay, right? Start off kissing and touching slowly, intentionally, right? And this is something that I learned in my journey, with my husband, with my ex-husband, was what I needed was that slow, intentional touch, which a lot of women don't get. Because men are so caught up in, I gotta go make the money, I gotta go do this, or, they are not ready to slow down. They are not ready to be in the moment, be present with their partners. And that is so important. You almost have to schedule it. You can't do these quickies. You can't just be having sex, behind the trash can in the back. Like, you have to be intentional. Sex was designed to be a sacred act, okay, with someone that you love deeply. So this sacred act has to be an intentional, you have to put some intention behind it. So that is creating a sacred space, right? Lighting some candles, putting some incense in the room, spraying some of your favorite smells, right? Putting on your favorite music if you have kids in the home, right? Getting a lock for the door, or putting, some sort of noise cancellation machine in the room, or, whatever is going to make you feel comfortable, whatever is going to make you feel sexy. For women, making sure that you're going to bed with sexy lingerie on, making sure that you're going to bed smelling nicely, put some mints on the side of your nightstand. Whatever the case may be, you have to go in feeling intentional about it. You can't wake up in the morning with stanky breath, right? Because smells reside in the root chakra. So as soon as I smell you, I'm going to be turned off by you, right? And I think a lot of us, we get into marriages thinking, oh, I'm just so comfortable. This is my partner, this is my best friend. But once we are in the bathroom with each other, using the bathroom, we wake up and smell each other's morning breath, and, we're sweaty after the gym and all of this and all of that. These are not the times to be having sex. You have to have privacy in those private times, right? You want to take the correct precautions on getting yourself prepared for your partner, right? Making sure that those smells no longer exist, okay? You want to make sure that you're in your most divine state. You want to meditate, right? If you've been at work all day and you've had to conquer the outside world, right? You don't want to come home and put all of that into your partner. You want to make sure you're meditating. So after time goes by You guys are having quickie sex. You guys are not being intentional. You guys are having morning sex with stinky breath. You know, at this point, you become roommates, okay? You aren't really in a deep love and satisfaction for one another. So the woman starts to reject, right? Because women are all feeling. We have to feel it, okay? And if we don't, you know, we're not gonna be turned on. We're not gonna be in the mood. So it's just better to reject, right? And so after the man is getting rejected and rejected over and over again, he's questioning his manhood. He's all up in his ego. He's feeling some type of way. And so he feels, well, in order for me not to cheat, I'm gonna go ahead and watch porn, okay? And then porn, of course, is feeling that void for him, but not only is it feeling a void for him, lust demons are starting to attach on to him, demonic entities, right? And so now they're playing with his head. Some people do go out and actually act on those feelings, and then other people, they go down these deep, dark rabbit holes of pornography, paying sex workers, or, you know, online cam girls, or whatever the case may be, and then the gap becomes deeper and wider within the relationship until, you know, something comes to a head, right? And so I think that within Christian marriages, the biggest issue is the fact that they don't know how to have sex. They don't know how to keep the spark within the relationship, and knowing that sex is sacred. It has to remain that way. You can't let up, okay? And you don't want to do it too often. Anything that you do so often, you're going to get tired of. If I ate spaghetti, I love spaghetti. If I ate spaghetti every night of the week, every day, right? I'm going to eventually get tired of spaghetti. It's no longer going to bring me pleasure because my body is going to be immune to it. Okay? So you want to have some time in between your sexual encounters with your partner. You don't want to be doing it every single day. Okay? So, you know, maybe once a week is enough, right? You want to build up the anticipation. You want to build up the attraction, right? And so, you know, being intentional about also learning your partner's body. Okay, learning what gets her off, learning what gets him off, right? And being able to communicate that. Sex is not a bad thing, y'all. God gave it to us to participate in with a divine, beautiful, loving partner. So this is your time to spread your wings and really get all up in that thing and figure out what it is that brings you joy, what it is that you don't like, dislike, that you like, whatever the case may be. This is the time. So you can't be afraid to communicate that to your partner. You can't be afraid to say, yo, I like it when you kiss me here, but I don't like it when you kiss me here. Okay? Or maybe I don't like oral sex, but I love when you penetrate me slowly and deeply. Okay? Maybe while you're whispering, you know, divine affirmations in my ear, right? You have to be able to communicate that, because trust me, if you don't, your partner is going to go and find some pornography so he can feel these fake feelings that are temporary, right? All porn is fake. It is not real. It gives you a temporary burst of dopamine, okay, to make you feel something for a minute, right? And then you crash, you go back down, and what do? You start to chase that feeling. So now you got to watch more porn. Now you got to watch different types of porn, okay? And then not only that, your mind becomes distorted because you have these demonic entities attached to you now. They're hijacking your brain, making you think that you like something that you don't, right? Maybe anal sex becomes a thing that entices you while you're at a sexual peak. And so now you're taking that back to your wife saying, I want to try anal sex. When anal sex is not of God, okay? Anal sex is it's a space where fecal matter extracts, right? It is not to be, you know, used for pleasure or any of those things. And so you have a distorted image of sexuality now, right? You're wanting your wife to, or, you know, you're wanting your wife to squirt all over across the room. And that's just not how our bodies work. You're wanting your husband to, do things that, listen, it's very important for you guys to slow down. Take your time, okay? If you are having trouble with premature ejaculation and you ejaculate quickly, which a lot of men do, okay, that means you need to practice holding your sexual energy in and sitting in that very pleasurable state for long periods of time. See, when you edge, right? When you do sexual edging, essentially you are, massaging your penis or you're massaging your vagina and you are allowing yourself to get to the brink of orgasm, get to the point of orgasm, but then you're dying that down, right? You are letting that go down and then you start it again, okay? And you do that for a long period of time. So then the sexual energy can move to your crown chakra. It can permeate your entire being and you can literally learn how to sit in that much pleasure without going over, right? Because when a man lets out his semen, when he releases, okay, he is done. That's it. And if the woman hasn't been satisfied, then that is going to create issues as well going forward. So you have to learn how to withhold your seed and sit in those very intense, pleasurable states for long periods of time. And to do that, you have to train the body. You have to practice, okay? You have to do the work. And what does that mean? Masturbation is not a bad thing, y'all. You can touch yourself when you are alone, as long as you're not thinking of any negative demonic entities, right? You can think of divine love. You can think of beautiful trees or vacation spots with crystal clear, beautiful blue water, or, being in the sky in a helicopter or whatever brings you the most joy, right? Any manifestations that you want to put out into the universe. You can think about these things as you are massaging your God bone, as you are massaging your vagina, whatever the case may be. But you want to put those manifestations in the body so you can reprogram that sexual energy, because once you program your sexual energy for lust, right, to lust over these, demonic women in pornography, once you program your mind to lust over women in general, that's going to spill over into every area of your life. Okay, you are going to now lust over things, right? Material things. You're going to buy things you don't need, right? You are going to do things that you shouldn't be doing, okay? Because you have so many lustful entities within you. So you have to detox from all of that. And the best way to get over pornography is to starve it out. Anytime you want to drain the life out of something, okay, you need to starve it. Starve it. Okay, you have to take every ounce of willpower, every ounce of strength that you have to get through it. Now, like I said, what I did was I started to withhold my sexual energy inside of me. And so celibacy can work even in a marriage, right? Because I think, most marriages fail if they don't have sex in 6 months. Okay, because it's built on a lustful foundation. If I tell you we're fasting from sex, we are in chastity, we are giving this time to self and God, our relationship should still be just as solid as if we were having sex daily. Okay, because what a lot of people do, they use sex as a means of connection. They use sex as a means of intimacy within the relationship. But there should be other ways that you are becoming intimate with your partner. That shouldn't be the sole way of you connecting with the one that you love. Okay, so if your relationship can't withstand 6 months of celibacy, that's not the relationship for you, or you guys need to put in some work. Okay, you all should be able to stay in that abstinent state and pour into other areas within the relationship without just worrying about orgasms or sex or, that kind of thing. Okay, so you gotta do some work here. Okay, and so within that time that you are abstinent and you are spending time alone, right, within yourself, within your own energy, it's time for you to build up that sexual energy within the body. It's time for you to sit in those very pleasurable states without surpassing your highest frequency. It's time to reprogram and practice. You must practice. Okay. And so like I was stating, within the marriage, you have to sometimes practice celibacy. Okay. You don't always have to be having sex. If you try to have sex every day, all day for the next 50 years, trust me, when y'all get 50, y'all not gonna really like each other. Now, trust me, yes, it is some exceptions to the rule, right? Those people maybe have found ways that work for them, but for the majority, you have to take your time. Lust is fast, love is slow. You can lust after your wife. You can lust after your husband. You must slow down and allow that lust to build into love. So then you can permeate your wife with your God bone that is full of God's love, right? Every time you go inside of her, you want to penetrate her with God's love so it can permeate her entire being and rise her up to new levels, new frequencies, and a higher level of consciousness. Okay? Every time you go inside of her, she should be feeling God's love. Just feel her up. And the same goes for you, my dear. Every time your husband penetrates your vagina, he should be feeling God's love wrap his arms around him in just such a warm, juicy embrace. Okay? It is a mixing of the energies. And just like we talk about how sex can drain your energy at just such a deep, deep level when you're doing it with, casually with demonic entities, right? The same is true when you are doing sex in love, when you are building each other up. Okay? All right. You can literally use sex to manifest your wildest dreams. You can use sex to build one another up to the highest frequencies and the highest levels. Okay? And so if you find yourself consistently rejecting your partner, if you find yourself consistently dissatisfied, if you find yourself consistently not wanting to partake, not wanting to communicate your needs, okay, not wanting to be honest about what it is that you want, that means it's time to wake up. It's time to have a conversation. It's time to do something, because trust me, running to pornography every time you're not getting what you need and what you want is going to become an issue for you. Okay? These lust demons will not only drain you and create a gap within your marriage, but it is also going to drain your resources, your pockets. Okay? It's going to drain your intellect, your knowledge. Okay, your willpower, your strength is going to drain so much out of you, and you're going to see the decline and the demise of everything around you. Okay, and that goes for men and women, because we both have porn addictions. I mean, pretty much I would say 90% of the internet is pornography. Kids are stumbling upon it so easily, so effortlessly, and it's designed that way. Because the higher ups, the higher entities, the people that run this world, right, they know that if you are driven by lust, right, you will never rise to your highest level and your highest potential. You will never get there. You will live a life in fear, a life of discomfort, a life of dissatisfaction, a life that you consistently have to escape from in your room using the lotion or the coconut oil or whatever it is to feel something for a temporary amount of time and then crash just to have to do it all over again the next day. Sex should build you up so deeply, that feeling of pleasure, that feeling, that good, juicy goodness of God's love should last for a week, 2 weeks, sometimes months, okay? You should be able to feel that it's going to create longevity, right? It's sustainability. Right. This is nothing temporary. Nothing in your marriage should be temporary. Even in your singleness. Okay. Even if you are a single person waiting on a partner, right? You cannot allow these lust demons in this pornography video to extract all of your good sexual energy. You need that sexual energy. That sexual energy is what you're going to use to pour into your endeavors, right? To pour into your creativity, to pour into your knowledge and learning more and doing more and putting action behind your thoughts. You need sexual energy to do that. Okay? So you can't be just, depressed and down that you don't never see a woman naked or you don't never see a man naked. And so you want to get on the internet and look at naked bodies just for 2 seconds of pleasure, just so you can feel right. In singleness is your time. That is the time to become the healthiest version of yourself. That is the time that you need to be spending in the gym. That is the time that you need to be fueling your body with life-giving foods. That is the time you need to be in meditation. That is the time you need to be pouring everything you got into you, right? Because once you do get a partner, you're not going to have as much time. Once you do become a mother, you are not going to have as much time to pour into you, right? And so if you create this foundation now, if you create these habits, these healthy habits now in your singleness while you have time, you will not lose yourself once you get a partner. You will know the things that bring you joy. You will know the things you do not like. You will not compromise on these things if they what is the word I'm looking for? You won't compromise on these things if they jeopardize your happiness. Okay, that's not something you are willing to compromise on. Okay, so in singleness, it's not the time to be lusting over fake bodies on the internet. It's time to be pouring into yourself and knowing that divine love is the only thing that's going to fuel your body and create some longevity when it comes to pleasure, when it comes to feeling pleasure, when it comes to experiencing pleasure within the body. Fueling your body up with God's love. And the only way to do that is to alchemize that sexual energy. Sit in that pleasure instead of just saying, oh, I'm going to use my rose and I'm going to just like play with my clit for 5 minutes and just like let that go and just orgasm and then go on with my day. You stirred up your sexual energy for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You didn't even give God your time. You didn't even give yourself your time. If you think that sex ain't got nothing to do with God, you really need to go sit with yourself. You really need to go examine who you are, what it is that you know, and what it is that you are here to do. Because sex has everything to do with God. And God likes us to spend time with him. God loves us to show appreciation to him. God wants to know that we are willing to sacrifice for him. Right? And so if you got 5 minutes, that's all you got. What's that telling God? What is that showing him? You don't appreciate him. You don't appreciate his love fueling your body and filling you up on the deepest levels. But when you lay there, right, and you touch yourself and you take your time with yourself and you caress your breasts and you caress your thighs and you slowly massage your clitoris and you slowly insert your fingers into your vagina and you allow that energy to build you up for an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're intentional. You are letting God know that this is something that I appreciate deeply. And then what happens when you show God how much you appreciate him? What happens? He gives you more to be thankful for. That's what happens. It's law. It's how it goes. And then not only does the sexual energy that you are allowing to penetrate, fuel your body, but then that starts to pour out of you. And as within, so without. What you are on the inside becomes your outward appearance. So your body starts to change. Your look starts to change. Your habits start to change. Because a divine high vibrational being doesn't go around eating acidic foods. They don't sit on the couch being couch potatoes watching, reality TV all day. They want to get out here. They want to put action behind their words. They want to show, that they are disciplined and they are ready for what God has for them. They are ready to go on this journey. They have the strength. They have the knowledge. They have the willpower. They have the discernment. They have all of their spiritual gifts. So when it comes to pornography, it's not real. It's fake. Okay. It was designed specifically to drain us of our sexual energy. Because as long as your sexual energy is low, you will be depressed. You will be anxious. Okay. You will live in a state of just dissatisfaction consistently. And the longer you're there, right? I mean, damn, you're basically just a walking dead person. Your soul is dead. Okay, that's what happens when you're when your sexual energy is drained. You become dead. Okay, And that is their goal, to disconnect you from your soul. But when you remove that from your life and you allow God to penetrate you, God to love you deeply, okay? And understand that sex has everything to do with God. So God is literally penetrating you with his divine love. Just think about how good God's love feels. Think about it. Think about how good God's love would feel if it was just penetrating you deeply and filling you up with so much divinity. Y'all, I'm telling you, let the porn go. Starve it out. Have conversations. Have the tough conversations with your partners. Communicate. Let them know what you like. Let them know what you don't like. Let them know what your concerns are. Let them know what your frustrations are. Okay? You're having the tough conversations so you can have some longevity in this thing. Because as long as you keep everything within, all right, and as long as you keep suppressing it, right, you will never rise to your fullest potential. And God put us here to live a good life. God put us here to live a great life. He don't want us worried. He don't want us depressed. He don't want us dissatisfied with the people that we chose to be with forever. He wants us to be in love, to be in harmony, to be in bliss, satisfaction, abundance. That's what God wants. Okay? So you got to do the work. If you want a good sex life, you must do the work. Don't keep running to porn. That's what weak people do. Weak people run to pornography when they want to just feel something for 2 seconds. Just like the heroin addict run to heroin, and the food addict run to a burger, and the TV addict runs to a reality show. Look, we all did had our vices. But see, now that I don't have a vice, okay, I don't have a vice. I feel like the worst thing that I probably do is eat French fries when I'm about to come on my period. But other than that, I don't have a vice. So I'm going to talk my shit. Okay? I didn't walk through every fire to get here. All right? I didn't sat through the pain. I didn't sat in the uncomfortableness. I didn't knock through the demons. I didn't slayed all of them negative entities and all of the things. I didn't done that. So I'm going to talk my shit. Yes, I'm going to talk my stuff. Look, I'm trying to stop cursing. Maybe that's probably part of it, but yeah. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, y'all. Is, just don't feel bad, right? We don't live in shame. There is no guilt, right? You don't want to have those low vibratory emotions, right? Because it is what it is. Everybody didn't have a problem with porn at one point in time. It is what it is, okay? But what you can't do is stay there. You can't stay there. So get up. Starve them entities out and do something different. All right. I hope this was helpful. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you're liking. Let me know what you're not liking. I really feel that moving in a direction of God's love through sacred sexuality is my thing and what this channel is mostly going to be about. But if you guys want to hear anything else, as part of my testimony, anything, let me know. Okay, I'm here for you guys, and I want you to know that you are a divine being. That is your birthright is abundance. Okay, so know that, believe that, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.